What's good, Sinz Nation? It's your boy Sinz here, bringing you back another episode with Talking with Sinz. Yes, you see it's a little different. Yes, you see we got the webcam. Yes. So I got my co-host here in the building, Will.
What's good, y'all? Co-host Will in the building.
So you know it's Talking with Sinz, where we talk about trending topics, sports, personal development, all that good stuff. So let's get it started with today's episode, which is on, you see the title, Emotions and Relationships. You have the emotions, I have the relationships. It's a hard thing to do. So when I talk about emotions, I bring in the goddamn Moscato, sweet red, drink the whole bottle. That's how I do it. So we going pour up for the one time for this episode, you know. You don't want none, right? So
I'm chilling.
You're chilling, all right. See, I'm the alcoholic of the group. So yeah, emotions and relationships. Do you want to start off, or want me to break the ice on it?
Where do you want to take it?
I mean, I guess we could start off on emotions first, and then I could bring a chance to the relationship aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, just emotions in general, it's always a heavy thing because your emotions are really determined by your personal traumas. They're determined by how you're raised, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of women are always like, oh, well, men don't open up because they didn't get love from their mother. And sometimes women open up too much because they have daddy problems. It's a psychological thing. So like for me, I don't really open up a lot. It takes a lot for me to open up because I can never really open up to my mother. It was a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, one, because she worked all the time. So it's like, the way I dealt with my emotions is as a kid, I had imaginary friends. Mm. You know, I had a very imaginary fantasy mind. So I had the whole house to myself. So I'd be around coping with my emotions, coping with my feelings. I would set up scenarios. Yeah. But I knew always in the scenario, I would be like Oedipus. I was always the hero in that scenario to kind of cope with my emotions and stuff like that. So that's just how it is for me so far. So like I said it before, I can't really open up a lot. I mean, that's always been my idea. Like, even when I open up to you about personal things, or when I talk to you about women troubles, it still takes a lot for me to do. And then shout out to my boy Barry, like a brother to me, same for him. I don't like talking to people about my emotions and about my troubles with women. So I remember I was talking to Emeka when I had my situation with my ex. Yeah. And I remember he was like, Brandon, I didn't even know what was going on because you ain't telling any of us. And I was like, you know what? You're kind of right. Because I really told you and Patrick and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just, you live and you learn, you know, you grow. The way I cope with my emotions in middle school was, even though I was ugly, in my opinion, but everyone's ugly in middle school. In my opinion, even though I was ugly in middle school, it was like I still flirted with girls. So I was deemed, you know, a flirt. Now I try to give it everyone. But it wasn't necessarily trying to give everyone. It's just I'm flirting because that's the best way I can bring about my emotions in a sense, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I feel that.
So even now, you know, there's situations, I think emotions are different in aspects. Like you have different emotions and feelings towards a family member. You have different emotions and feelings towards a friend, and you have different emotions and feelings to a girlfriend, and you have different emotions and feelings to someone you love. And yes, I separated girlfriend from love because you don't always love your girlfriend. Yeah. Just like there's men who don't always love their wife. So, and that's just how it is. Yeah. So when it comes to like relationships, you know, I didn't get my first relationship till my senior year. And for the most part, it was a good feeling. It was a nice feeling. But the problem with things is, since I didn't know how my emotions, I'm always such a stay to myself type of guy. Yeah. So it's like, I didn't believe in I don't have to show you off all the time, stuff like that. But I didn't know until, you know, 2 years ago. Now it's like, to her, that's a good thing. She wants to be shown off. She wants to be shown like that treasure. And to me, I did at the time think that ex was a prize. Like she was my treasure. Like I deserve to cherish her, but I didn't see it as that. Yeah. And then that's also where we had miscommunication, because she also was like, Brandon, you don't say your emotions to me. You don't tell me how you're feeling. You don't communicate with me. Because I'm always like, oh, I'm fine. I'll get over it. Yeah. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And when you're in a relationship,
can't do that.
You can't do it at all. It's going to lead to a disconnect.
Yeah.
So, then slowly I opened up, gave my emotions, and then eventually we fell out. Done with that. And there's more to that story, but that doesn't have to go on the podcast because that's, even though it's my business, it's also her business. And I'm not going to have to put her business out there, but we fell out.
Yeah.
So since we fell out, that's when I put up the barrier. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. So when women say, I'm not ready for a relationship, the majority of the time, they're not lying because I know that feeling of not being ready for a relationship. You're mentally not ready. You still have those trust issues subconsciously underlying. So I wasn't ready for a relationship. I had those emotions. I was like, what do I do? I went on the quote unquote hoe phase. I had that fun. And then, when you do catch feelings, it's always a wild thing.
Yeah.
And me, I've always, told you, I don't catch feelings like that. I'm emotionless. I don't share emotions. But then when I do catch feelings, it's like, Brandon caught feelings? That's crazy. We got to meet this person type deal. So I was good. And then I actually haven't caught feelings heavily for someone until like recently, really. Maybe June. Quarantine has people messed up. But that type of emotion is different because those were emotions towards a friend.
Yeah.
It wasn't emotions towards a girlfriend. But it's like those emotions towards a friend, but it's also someone you love. It's not a person I'm in love with, but, you have love for that person. Yeah. So and that person they were going through their personal things and stuff like that. And I was, that the guy, I'm a friend at first. My first thing is I'm not going to come to you and do things to you because I want it to be in my gain. My whole thing was I'm coming to you as a friend. I'm going to give you the advice as a friend, not to be biased. I'm going to tell you what you deserve to hear, and what you need to hear at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have that person and you're there for them and as they're there for you, it's like I started opening up little by little. They got to know me more and more. Right. Because it's so funny how it happened because, I've known this person for a while, but I was never cool with them like that. I was never like really friends with them.
Yeah.
And then good old alcohol, man.
The alky started talking.
I started talking about a year ago. It was on my birthday. I remember exactly. I messaged him and I was like, oh, when are we getting married? When are you going to marry me? They were like, oh, you don't want that, this and that. And I was like, no, like, I'm serious. I want to get to know you more. Blase, blase. And the thing led to another. But this still was, in a friendship way.
Yeah.
I got to know them. They were in a relationship. I respect relationships. If I know, and I know how I am also, I know I'm a very flirtatious person. So if you're in a relationship and I know I'm going to flirt with you, I'm going to back off. That's on me. Hey, dudes, you should respect me for that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah. So, but then they were coming to me with that relationship stuff and I was there for them, and I saw it as I'm going to be there for them and just talking, you're talking every day, you're FaceTiming every day, you're hanging out, watching movies, this and that. You tell them all, you have it's literally, if you go to sleep, before I go to sleep, I FaceTime you type stuff.
Yeah.
So eventually I did start to catch feelings and it was a hard thing for me to realize.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dang, I'm catching feelings, but it wasn't like petty feelings or pity feelings or minuscule feelings. There are feelings that I felt for when I caught feelings for my ex.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like this.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to just, all right, deuces and ghost the person because I caught feelings. We were in deep, in a sense. Like you told me things, I'm there for you. I'm not going to just ghost you because you don't deserve that.
Yeah.
You don't deserve any of that, especially for all the things I told you what you deserve. Mm-hmm. So I caught feelings and I did things for the person as a friend, but I also did things for the person as more. I put in 150%, 200% effort for that person to, in a sense, just show them that, hey, just know that I'm that nigga.
Yeah, more.
With the hope. And that's hope is a big thing I'm about to talk about in a minute. So, so eventually, this is my big deal, man. When I start drinking, y'all gotta take my phone away.
At this point,
y'all gotta take my phone away. I don't give a damn. If I fight it, give me a damn bear tranquilizer, because
at this point,
I be thumb thugging. My thumbs be going crazy. So, I got drunk one day, but I was bad drunk. And I texted her and I let her know. And I let the person know, like, how I was feeling about them.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it was still wrong of me for that. Because they did get out of the relationship.
Yeah.
So it seems as boom, when you spin it, it's like, oh, I'm that shoulder to cry on. Now it's my turn to swoop you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't see it as that. It was more in the sense of I'm letting you know because of hope.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case, if you have those contemplations, you don't have to second guess yourself. Like, does he have feelings for me or not? In a sense. But ultimately, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
After there's lots of talks in between, but it didn't happen because once again, at the end of the day, she was my friend, but it was a person I have love for as a friend. And when you see it in that way, and I see it that way, it's like, imagine we got together and we break up. That whole dynamic's either changed tremendously or it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would. So yeah, what ifs do kill a person. Yeah, the what ifs will kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you never know what could happen, but it is sometimes in life you don't need to take the risk. So what's the risk of we date, we talk, doesn't work out, but we break up, and it's going to be different because we broke up.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, especially if we date and we caught even more feelings for each other, we developed that type of love for each other, and it's like, boom, we break up, and it's like either I go to another person or they go to another person. It's going to kill us on the inside.
Yeah, it will for sure.
And it's like, well, this wouldn't have happened if y'all just stayed friends.
Yeah.
So I do see that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But emotions wise, you still see it as an aspect of the what ifs kill you. And then the hope kills you. But that's when I get into my topic of hope. You don't want to live life basing your emotions off of hope.
Hope is a tricky thing.
Hope is a very tricky thing. Hope is very 50-50.
Hope is dangerous too.
Because when you have hope, you set yourself up for success and failure at the same time.
Exactly.
Because it's like, I did, because it was multiple conversations. It wasn't just a weak thing. No, it's not going to happen. Multiple conversations, multiple contemplations.
Yeah. And
I messed up in myself of having the hope.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe one day it'll finally come to and we do it. I can hope for that. But then having that hope sets yourself up for more failure. Having your hope sets you up because it's like when you don't get that hope, when you don't get what you want, you're going to be mad at yourself.
Yeah, it crushes you. And then you're just stuck dwelling on it. And then you can't do anything.
You can't do anything about it. And that was kind of the thing with me. I was crushed with the hope, and I finally had to, it's like you get mad at yourself. You internalize things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was moving on, but then something happened, and then I get upset, and I realize to myself I wasn't moving on. So I get mad at myself because of that hope and because I thought I moved on, this and that.
Yeah.
And so I had the decision. It was a balance of a scale. It could have went one or two ways. And I was leaning towards a major decision, and it's like, I can't be friends with this person anymore. I can't be in this person's life anymore because it's not good for me.
Yeah.
I have to leave. I have to cut that person off. But you have to realize at the end of the day, when you think to yourself, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt that person.
That's the problem too. It's just, sometimes you can just deal with the hurt yourself.
Yeah.
But you have to think about other persons and it makes it worse.
And that was the thing. I was like, is it hurt that the person? I also knew that it would have hurt me in the end.
Yeah.
It would have made me feel bad in the end because it's like, I didn't get what I want. To me, it's like, I didn't get what I want. All right, bye, I'm done. Like, I have all this love for you. I love everything that I did for you. I love our hangouts. I love our conversations. I love the connection that we build. I love how we've grown together. Mm. But you can't give me what I want,
Yeah.
I'm trying to take a sacrifice. You're not trying to take a sacrifice. Fuck you for that. I'm gone. But it's like, I couldn't do that. That's not what I truly felt. I didn't have that in my heart.
Yeah. When it's built off of friendship to start in the first,
you know, because it wasn't like it's just some random girl that starts talking. Like, no, it was literally built off as friends. You know, cried together, seen each other cry. And I don't cry in front of people.
Yeah.
You know, see each other cry. Been in those moments, those intimate moments. It was like I can't. You know.
Yeah.
You have to deal with it, and now I'm here and I'm dealing with it. I'm not having that hope. I don't. Yes, I have love for you. Yes, I have feelings for you, but those feelings I can push aside. Feelings are feelings; they come and go. That love, I'm not going to throw away that love. I'm not going to throw away our relationship and our friendship because of one little thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have that hope because people say, oh, it's not the right timing for things. I think that's a 50-50 thing as well, because if it were to happen, it would happen.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't force it.
You can't force it. So it's also, I'm not going to live my life with that hope of something happening.
Yeah, because when you do that, it holds back other things.
It holds back other things. And it's like, that's what I'm going to say. It's like, I could talk to this girl, but I still have that hope that I can talk to this one.
Exactly.
I can date this one.
And then it stops it. And then you don't put your 100% into the other person, and then it suffers, and then you're back where you started.
I'm back where I started because it's like, dang. And then it's like, that's when I get mad again because I'm still stuck on this other person. And then this other person goes and they're like, no, like don't want to take that risk. Don't want to take that sacrifice. And it's like, it's another argument all over again. It's a constant cycle until it finally becomes such a cycle where you really can't do it anymore and the friendship's over.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not right for me and it's not right for that person to put each other through that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had to come to the decision of I have to grow up. You know, it's a learning process. It's a maturing process. And from it, our relationship will build. You know?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And it's more of just boundaries. Like, don't come to me telling me about people you're talking to at this very moment. Maybe in a few months. But don't come to me and tell me, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I do not care because you're just talking to that person. I do not care.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you start dating that person, maybe I'll care.
Yeah, that is different.
It's different. But if you're just talking to this person, don't come tell me about them. Don't. You can talk about me all you want to. That's my self. Just talk about me all you want. But don't talk to me about them. I don't care about them because I'm going to look at it as right now they're in your life temporary, you know? But if we have that friendship, we have that connection to build, you know, we have that love for each other. At the end of the day, I'm going to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not temporary. You can talk about me all you want.
Yeah.
But don't talk to me about something that's temporary.
And then too, you still have, there's that bias of the other person thinking you're biased.
No,
if you just tell them how it is, so it's like, don't come to me
because you're gonna be like, oh, you're only saying that because you had feelings for me.
Exactly.
You had feelings for me,
and then it's flip it on you.
And it's like you flip it on me, it's raps.
Exactly.
All right, that's how you feel, then I'm done.
Yeah,
and that's just how it be. So I don't want that, but that's just how I see it as a thing, you know. And the more I talk about it, the easier it gets. Yeah, for that person. And even if the person comes across this video, you know, they'll what?
I'm sorry.
You know, even if that person comes across this video and sees it, they'll understand that at the end of the day, I always understood where they're coming from. Yeah. And I want them to understand where I was always coming from. Mm-hmm. And I'll give that person the reassurance that I don't have that hope anymore. You know, there's no hope from it.
Yeah.
Now, is it hypocritical or contradicting if I say, now they message me right now talking about you're mine? Is it contradicting if I say, bet that up? Maybe. But I don't give a damn at this point. I still don't have the hope because I'm not hoping that happens.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just saying, I do know that I can't lie to myself, and I do know truly to myself, if that were to happen, cool. Bet I move on with it. You know, I jump forward with it. If it weren't to happen, I still jump forward with life. And that's the difference when you take that hope out of things.
Yeah.
And just relationship wise.
Yeah, exactly.
And emotions. So that's just a little bit about how I've dealt with emotions and how I've jumped forward with emotions, because people are always like, man, you're always going out. You always look so happy. That's because I try my best to be, you know, those are the happy emotions, but they don't know what's behind this door.
Yeah.
They don't know what happens when
people only see what we allow them to see.
And sometimes I do let people in. Majority of people are smart. When they see me chucking a bottle of wine, they know I'm going through it.
Yeah.
You know, that's me letting you in. I'm not showing you me chugging a bottle of whiskey because that's what I'm really going through.
Yeah.
But that's just my little stance on it. I don't know if you want to add anything of your own.
I don't know if I really had. I mean, I guess I had a similar situation. But I think, I don't know how I dealt with it. I think it was just time and then talking about it, and then I was fine with it. And also, I mean, there's kind of distance too. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not being your friend anymore, but maybe for my mental, I have to distance and then come back. But then it's like iffy. But sometimes it's not on purpose either.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't purpose. It's like multiple other things happen too. And then it's like, I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
That there was going to be some type of.
And that's the thing, like, what my situation is. I told myself I need to distance myself, but then the other person was like, I kind of don't want you to distance yourself. And I was like, okay. But then there's also the moment of like, maybe we do need that space, but then I came to realization, but that space just makes it worse. That's the weird dynamic, right?
Yeah, because every situation's
so different. Because
sometimes
like,
you need it.
At first, I wanted to distance myself. And they were like, okay, I don't know why you have to distance yourself. All right, cool. I'm not going to distance myself. And then when we have those moments of space, and it would be like space for like 2-3 days. And it's like, all right, hey, like, how are you?
Yeah.
I missed you type shit. It's like, it didn't, how our relationship was, it just doesn't, when we force the space upon us and force the distance, it doesn't work because something brings us back.
Yeah.
Now, if it slowly happens without us forcing and it just happens, like, you know, we get busy, that's cool. But it's also when it comes to space and distance, the more you try to force it to happen, the worse it's going to be, or it might not eventually ever work.
Yeah, exactly. So I say, every situation is so different. Sometimes you need distance. Sometimes it's not the best to have distance.
Yeah. But
it really just depends. Like I said, every situation is different. You got to play it by ear, basically, and see whatever works best. Everybody's different. Mm-hmm. There's multiple solutions. You just got to find the one that works for you, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna call you out.
Oh, damn.
Because you said earlier that you've never been in a relationship-esque thing. You're a liar.
How?
Think. You're a liar. Was it junior year? Yeah, you know what I'm talking. You're a liar. So you're like, that was a big thing. That was a big mental thing. You can't just leave it out.
Yeah. What am I supposed to say about that?
It was a lot that happened.
It was a lot, but I think I blame myself for letting myself be so upset about it for so long. Because looking back on it, I'm like, dang, I don't know if that was worth it or if that person was worth it. Sorry to say, but I don't know if it was worth me being that upset over it. I think I think I might have dragged it a little long emotionally, and I did it to myself because that was a situation, I think, where I should have just completely stopped talking to the person. Not trying to be friends afterwards. Because it didn't really start as a friendship. It was already like, we kind of know what we want to do type stuff.
Yeah, and that's the difference. And that's why the best and worst relationships happen when they start from friendship, right? Because you can have the best relationships when you're with it. Because it's like this. I would rather, like, let's say I had a best female friend, right?
Yeah.
I would rather take a leap with that best female friend for a relationship rather than a random stranger.
Yeah, same.
Reason being is because you have and this is me and my optimism. I would die on this hill. If I had a best female friend and they said they had feelings for me, I would say, I saw them as an attractive person. Yeah. It's like I already think you're mentally attractive. I already like your personality because that's what we're best friends. So if I see you as an attractive person, I'm probably going to have doubts. Like, I don't know. Like, if we date, this can happen. But it's also like, you're my best friend. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take it as, if we date and we're done, I'm still going to make sure that you're my best friend. Because I can go to sleep at night knowing that. Now, it's always it might be on her. Where she's like, we dated, but now it's like we're done. And I can't do it anymore. Yeah. And that's fine. But it's like, I still think, let's say no matter how long we date, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, those are probably going to be the best 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and also the worst because they're your best friend.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Rather than, I meet a stranger and it's like, because that's why it's like, I've always wanted to, before I date someone, I want to become friends with them first.
Yeah, same. I feel like that's the best option.
And it's like, that's why I like my ex. When we first talked, like we were friends and we had mutual interests, anime, video games, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a very mutual thing. And then when we finally started talking, it flowed so seamlessly. It wasn't forced upon.
Yeah.
It just flowed so seamlessly. We both knew what we wanted, that we eventually dated. It was.
Yeah, exactly. Because by the time you get to that point, there's no learning curve. If that makes sense. There is, because you already know each other. There's already some type of boundaries. You already know how this person acts. So there's there might be there's obviously a slight difference in relationship type acting and how it is in friendship, but it's still easier when you're already friends. Because yeah.
That's how it is. And I will always, that's another hill I die on, where I would date like a best friend, like a best female friend of mine, or a good female friend of mine.
Yeah, same, 100%.
Because it's just such a way better dynamic. And then at first, I remember I said early in the podcast I wasn't going to put the business of how me and my ex fell out. But I'm not going to put it fully out there. But it's still to show growth in a sense. And not a lot of people know this. So I'm going to finally say it about why we originally broke up.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? Woo! I mean, so, because you were a part of it in the sense you were there.
I know that.
My ex, things were good. And then, like Jamie Foxx said, blame it on the alcohol, but I can't blame it on the alcohol. Did it have an effect?
Yeah.
Yes. But I can't, at the end of the day, I can't blame it on alcohol. I know what I did.
Yeah.
And I had an affair. I'm going to say an affair because it just sounds better. Sounds better. I had an affair. Because I had an entanglement.
Yes,
there we go. I had an entanglement. Right? I had an entanglement.
Yeah.
And my ex obviously found out about it. And, I always asked the question, well, what are you going to tell her? And I was like, yeah. The thing that made it worse is she wasn't in town.
That's right.
They weren't in town.
That's right. I forgot.
But I had an entanglement. And people don't have to believe me. When I tell you, after I did what I did, that I sat on the edge of my bed, contemplating life itself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just fucked everything up for me. I was like, I had it so good, and I just fucked everything up for me. I'm just contemplating. So that weighed on my heart heavy. And then when she found out, and she asked me about it.
I thought you told her.
No.
Oh.
She found out. Because I remember she called me, and I was at school. I was at Valencia. And
that's right.
I was like, hello? And the wavering in her voice broke me. Yeah. And she asked me, that's the thing. A lot of niggas like to lie. And be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, at least you didn't lie.
Because the thing is this.
I'm glad you did.
I could have lied.
Yeah.
And I could have got away with it if I really wanted to. If I did not really care about the situation, if I did not feel bad about the situation, did not care about the situation, did not care about how she felt, I could have lied, and I would have been a damn good lie too. I would have been great. That'd have been a damn good lie.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do that to myself, and I couldn't do it to her.
Yeah.
I knew
that guilt
would have been way too heavy. And I'm a man. At the end of the day, I'm still a man of loyalty, and I'm a man of my word and a man of truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, I said, yes, I did this. I said, you don't have to take me back, but I'm going to show you that I do want you back, and that I do care about you. I do have love for you. And that was a long week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Eventually I've talked to you about it. Like, I came to you man to man, and that was another hard thing to do, to go to you, to go to Patrick, to go to bury my best friends and be like, yeah, I'm fucking scum. Like, I fucking had an entanglement. And like, at the end of the day, like, I saw like on your face, you're like, really? Like, cause you didn't believe it at first.
I was thrown off. I didn't know I was like, what's going on? Because you didn't tell me first.
I didn't tell you first either.
But she texted. I was like, oh, what am I supposed to? I was like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, I didn't know if you lied. I was like, is there some type of code here? I was like, as bad as that sounds, I was genuinely like, what am I supposed to do? I was like,
so I told you, just like, damn. And I remember it was on my heart heavy. What had happened. So I did want to prove myself to her, and I did have care for her, this and that. But I'd go back right now and be like, don't take me back. Just because us getting back together caused way more problems down the line.
Just trust issues.
And all that, and energy's not being there, this and that. So we broke up.
Yeah.
We're done. And I remember we still had those feelings for each other because that person got mad at me for doing single shit. You know?
That's where I say the distance afterwards has to come into play.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is,
you do have it.
But I was distancing myself. But then we were friends. And that was the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
We were still friends.
Yeah. Because it's still there.
And stuff like that. So there were moments. And then we were like working on each other. Working on getting back together. But eventually there was just another person there.
Yeah.
A coworker, in a sense. Fellas.
The coworker.
Fellas.
Beware.
Don't beware of her friends. Beware of the coworkers. Them niggas are on a mission. So if she's ever like, oh yeah, I have a coworker, he's cool. Kill that nigga. Kill him now. Because
oh my God.
They on a mission. They are on a mission to take your woman. That's my warning to y'all. PSA. So yeah, you know.
You might have to cut that out.
I'm not cutting shit out. This is unedited Talkin with Sinz. I'm saying everything I need to say.
Wow.
I don't cut shit out. That's my loyalty and my truth to myself. So yeah.
I'm with it. You good.
So, and then I was being told one thing and then another thing, and it's like, all right, Brandon, we shouldn't talk anymore. Okay, cool. But then we keep coming back to each other. We keep the same cycle of it, and then
that's what I'm saying. That's what happens. That cycle is the
cycle was toxic. It was a very toxic, confusing cycle. So then in the end, it was like a book. It was fucking Twilight.
Yeah.
Should I pick Jacob? Should I pick Edward? Should I pick the coworker? Should I pick Brandon? I'm in love with Brandon, but I like the coworker. Brandon did this in the past. I'm still scared of that. The coworker hasn't done bullshit yet. You know? It was like, am I going to take the chance with the yet? And honestly, if I was not in her shoes, I would have took a chance with the yet too. I can't be mad anymore. And that was a lot of things when I had to come to terms of what I did. And, you know, I couldn't be mad at it. It's like, I get why you made your choice.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Was there bullshit in between the lines of you making that choice?
Yeah.
By far, yes.
Yeah.
But the choice happened. Excuse me, man. Woo. The choice happened.
Yeah.
And can I say it happened for the best of us? I can, but I can't because I don't know how her relationship is.
Happened for the best for you.
Happened for the best for me.
And honestly, afterwards, that's all you can really think.
That's all I can really think about. That's all I really...
That's all that matters for you.
That's what matters for me. Don't get me wrong. I do have care for this person. Even though we're falling out, even though I will always have care for this person because you were a person I opened myself into. You were a person there for my weakest moments. You're the person I love. So I will have care for you 100%. And I wish you the best. But I still, at the end of the day, I'm going to wish the best for me and I'm happy for me and I'm happy where my life has turned and the growth that's come from it.
Yeah, you gotta choose yourself first. At the end of the day, sometimes you have to be selfish, and sometimes it's okay to be selfish. You know,
and I dealt with a lot of guilt and a lot of hatred towards myself for the entanglement. You know, people were like, "Hey, Brandon, didn't you do this and that?" Huh? What are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
And I had to, and I proved something to myself because there's that saying, "Oh, once a cheater, always a cheater." I don't think that's true because, especially in my sense, because it was just an entanglement. It wasn't like a constant thing of
exactly.
You know. And when I got into a second relationship, that was a very nice relationship. And I did my thing. I was my loyal self.
Yeah.
You know, it just that relationship didn't work out. I wish them the best too. I didn't open up as much, but I wished them the best too. Just it didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my tribulation and my trials of when it comes to emotions. So I like to always end the podcast off because getting close to the time, I always like to end the podcast off with like a word of advice. And my specific word of advice to anyone out there listening, young, old, married, divorced, single, in a relationship, everyone out there. At the end of the day, do what's best for you. At the end of the day, do what makes you happy. If you're in a toxic situation, you're going to have to come to terms with it. Come to terms that you're in a toxic situation.
Yeah.
You have to come to realizations. What your subconscious tells you is really what's the truth.
Yeah.
You have to do what's best for you. You can get advice from people, but never listen to what people tell you to do.
Yeah.
Because for the situation that just happened, I could have easily been like, if I just listened to what people told me, I could have easily been like, you know what? You're toxic. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Because that's what someone told me.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to, at the end of the day, make those decisions for yourself and realize, I always say this, at the end of the day, when you die, the only person in that casket is yourself. Unless you're one of those weirdos that get those couple caskets.
That's the thing?
Yeah, like people will die and they'll like get buried together, like in the same casket.
That's wild.
Yeah, you're if you do that, you're a weirdo. Now, if your graves are next to each other, cool.
Yeah.
But
in the same joint?
But at the end of the day, in that casket, in that urn, is gonna be me. And if I do get, let's say I'm gonna say this right now. If I pass away right now, cremate me and sprinkle my ashes all over Tiana Trump's titties because I love her. Sinz out.